This is the Dzogchen Sunday Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. This morning, let us explore coalescence, the sixth enlightenment factor, followed by group meditation. If the sixth enlightenment factor is coalescence and the first enlightenment factor is mindfulness, there is a relationship between these two that would behoove us to explore. As we breathe in, the air coalesces in our lungs. Simultaneously, perceptions, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings coalesce in our mind. Neither needs to be forced. They are a natural function of the complexity of our central nervous system. Our breathing is less of a focus and more of a metronome, and here's why. When we make the mistake of following the popular advice of actively focusing upon our breath, we cannot help but exhaust the front part of our brain, which not only induces us to begin presenting with symptoms of depression, but triggers our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. However, when we vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly cooperate with the middle bit of our spinal cord during our inhalation, we are able to effortlessly notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. All of them. From the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. The most efficient way for us to transcend our habit of actively competing against our autonomic nervous system and instead passively cooperate with it is remarkably simple. Every time we feel our body breathe in, we can silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. Conversely, every time we feel our body breathe out, we can silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb rest. Our cooperation with our exhalation helps us to effortlessly work with the tippy top and very bottom of that same spinal cord, together known as the nexus of our parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us to physically relax and mentally release during our exhalation to such a degree that that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast empty void. This is not a permanent state. It is fleeting. And as soon as we breathe in, the cycle begins afresh. Therefore, the purpose of meditation is not to change what we experience, but to cooperate with what we experience in a distinctly therapeutic manner. Just as the amygdala is the seat of both anxiety and aggression, cooperating with our parasympathetic nervous system helps us to experience heightened peace. Cooperating with our sympathetic nervous system helps us to gently and automatically stimulate the anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. The late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of our mindfulness and our meditation, of simply noticing and relaxing in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation. What if enlightenment was simply mastery of the Buddha's, of the Buddha's Eightfold Path? As children, we were required to master using the toilet instead of our diapers, brushing our teeth, tying our shoes, and eventually riding a bicycle. Each of these at various times felt insurmountable, and yet, after enough time and effort and repeat instructions and tears, eventually we got so good at those behaviors that we were able to practice them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. We have evolved to be mastery machines, and we can master the Buddha's Eightfold Path simply by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so. We cannot help but experience impermanence and non-graspability, the first fold of the Eightfold Path, simply by playing with mindfulness and meditation once every 12 hours or so. We cannot help but experience kinder intention towards others. We cannot help but practice kinder communication. We cannot help but practice kinder conduct. We cannot help but practice kinder commerce. Simply by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, we will notice that our choices and our utterances and our deeds begin flowing not from contrived calculations, not from wild scatteredness, but instead from love's deeply centered spontaneity. This is the effortless effort that some describe as Wu Wei. And these are the benefits of simply cooperating with our autonomic nervous system. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. For Meditate Like a Jedi is made possible thanks to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, together let us sit and breathe and notice and rest. Oopsie, the pointer didn't work. Let's try that again. Let us sit and breathe and notice and rest. The most efficient way for us to effortlessly and gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in our lower abdomen is for us to rest the lowest knuckle of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Let me check the time real quick. Okay, about 15 minutes have elapsed, so 55 minus 15 is 40 minutes. 40 minutes divided by 4 is 10 minutes each. Okay, so that'll be 4 sets of approximately 10. 10 minutes. Here's the easiest way to count 10 minutes. We keep track of our first collection of 12 inhalations by touching the tip of our left thumb to the lowest set of creases upon its left little finger. And then let us rest this hand palms up in our lap. Every time we breathe in, we can advance our right thumb up the creases of its fingers. Together, let us practice right now. Clearly, I've run out of creases on my right hand upon which my thumb can rest. That means it's time to advance my left thumb up to the second set of creases on this little finger. And now you get the basic idea of how we can count 10 sets of 12 inhalations each. The moment you have a specific question about the philosophies and techniques that support meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 5 minutes or so. Remember, or I should say, please remember, that the essence of mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The essence of meditation is to silently and mentally recite the verb rest during each exhalation. The easiest way to invite our subtle energies to coalesce in our lower abdomen is for us to rest the lower knuckle of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. The most efficient way for us to gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce at our crown is for us to rest the large knuckle at the lower knuckle of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. In Buddhist Tantra, we only use 5 chakras as opposed to the Hindu 7. The key to mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The key to meditation is to silently and mentally recite the verb rest during each exhalation. We can count 12 inhalations on our right hand, advancing our right thumb every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this as we inhale. I think there's a better angle for these peripherals. Please bear with me. Woof, let's put this right here and see if that doesn't work better. Yeah, that works better. Okay. It takes about 60 seconds to count 12 inhalations on our right hand. Therefore, in our left hand, we can count minutes. 1, 2, 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, 12 minutes. It is not our job to label. It is not our job to chase epiphany. If all we do is notice and relax in harmony with our breathing, the mastery of the Buddha's path becomes an inevitability. Perhaps that is why he taught that one could master his path in as little as 7 days. The most efficient way for us to gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce behind our navel is for us to rest the large knuckle, the large lower knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. The most efficient way to meditate is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The most efficient way to meditate, I get my words confused. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The most efficient way to practice meditation is to silently and mentally recite the verb rest every time we feel our body exhale. One of the most efficient ways of timing our meditation is as follows. Every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we can advance our right thumb up the creases of its various fingers. Together, let us do this right now. The most efficient way for us to gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in our chest is for us to rest the lower knuckle of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Well, here's one of the most efficient ways to time our meditation. We can advance our right thumb every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. As such, our thumb can advance up the creases of our fingers. Let us do this together right now. During each exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the verb rest. We begin with our little finger and work our way towards our index finger. Counting 12 inhalations on our right hand takes about a minute. Therefore, we can use our left hand to keep track of minutes. We can use our left thumb to keep count minutes on the creases of our left hand. In about 10.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening lesson and followed by guided meditation. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.